Okay, so you've registered with Learns, you've got the email confirming that, and you've clicked on the activation. Now you're ready to log into your MyLearnZ control panel. With your Teachers Council number that you entered when you registered and your password. So this is the welcome area, and it does tell you, for the purpose of this, I am with this school, just for this demo, and it shows you other teachers from your school and your region. You can let other teachers know that you're part of it. You never know, you might be able to collaborate. I'm not going to do this, but most people do. The first thing you need to do is to create classes for your current year. Now, you might only have one class, but if you're in secondary or sometimes intermediate, you might have more than one. So I'm going to do that. Now, interestingly, it says you haven't created a login for your classes. You've got your own login to access field trips that you use to come to this MyLearnZ control panel, but setting up a login for your classes enables you to give that out to them, and they can take it home and be accessing field trips that you're enrolled in. So this is part of the homeschool partnership. You can change this at any time. So if you only had one class, you might put your name in it. Okay. And use a name like that. It's case sensitive. And just note there's a couple of constraints. Now I'm going to create a login, and I'll call that R1 Virtual. Maybe if you're in a school and you've got a third form, a fourth form and a fifth form, you might want to name it after your initials. And you might have a teacher code. You might call it something like that. And you can create that login. And you might make it something simpler than that, but you can change that later. You can edit other aspects of your account details in here as well. So let's go back to creating a class. And obviously we're in 2013, that's chosen by default. At the end of a year, sometimes we have got 2 years running at once. So you can call the actual class is not tied to the login, you can call it whatever you like, because you can have more than one class. So you might call it 1A, and you might say, look, I've got 26 in that class, and it's year 3 and 4, control key to hold 2 up, and say, look, I'm going to set up that. So cool. If you've been with us a while, you'll have your other years showing on the left hand side. So I've got room 1A, and I've created that class. Now I need to enrol that class in a field trip or field trips. So room 1A is not, here are all the field trips for the current year, and I'm going to, you can enrol them in a field trip that's already finished, and pupils have value in that, or you could choose one that hasn't happened yet and enrol them in that. So I'm going to choose this new one, and is that the right one? Yes, and I'm there's a wee online evaluation. I'm agreed to do that because it's an important part of the reflection on the learning process. And that's all I'm going to do for now. I can easily go and create another class. Or I could chicken out and say, look, I have only really got one class after all, and I'm going to call it room 1A, and I'm going to give them the password room 1A13. And I'm going to update the login. Oh, I need to do, okay, let's do that. See if we can do that. Cool. So we've got that login that we can give to people. We can see it there in clear text. Doesn't matter if it's both the same, it's complex enough. As I say, if you can change it at any time. And for your classes, it'll only work this year for the field trips you've got them enrolled in. So you can have a look at your enrolments. And we're only enrolled in that one. And we can't evaluate it yet, so there's nothing to click on there. We can put in an ambassador, a fluffy toy or mascot, and that's one thing that does cost you something to do, but it's optional. If you want to update anything else about yourself, you can change your details, or your own password, or your class login, and that's pretty simple and it's instant. If you have any invoices with us for things like an ambassador or a teacher manual, they'll show up here. But you can review any of those. We've just got one class. You can add another class if you wanted to. Apart from that, I'm ready to log out. And we could go to the LEARNZ homepage if I then wanted to start and go to a field trip. So I'd go to the field trip chooser. And with my teacher login, I can log into any of these, but my class login will only work for this year's field trips for that one. And it's not available yet because that field trip hasn't been built, so it won't be ready till the month before. So in the meantime, if I was a teacher, I can use my teacher login to log into that field trip and get familiar with what a field trip is all about. And don't think I actually want to blah blah blah. It's telling me that if I'm going to use this field trip a lot, I need to enroll my class. But, so I'm in. Notice I'm logged in as myself. It's for me, not for my class. I can use it to demonstrate. I can whiz into MyLEARNZ from there using the same login, or I can just log out. Thanks for listening to this demonstration walkthrough of using MyLEARNZ to control your relationship with us and your classes, your login, and the field trips that you use.